All right. So, Wicked for Good. Saw it last night. Our friend hooked us up with a couple of tickets to get to see an early viewing of it. So, that was pretty cool. Shout out to her. And we got to check out Wicked for Good, the highly anticipated sequel to this huge, insane cultural event. I mean, the hype for this movie is pretty high. Uh, not just from like the marketing, but from expectations. They're deservedly high. I mean, the first one was objectively really good. This review, I will try my best. I won't try. I will not spoil anything plot wise. I know I got some trailers going on in the background, so besides that, if you haven't seen a trailer, um, I won't be talking about anything specifically plot wise. The spoiler kind of topics for later this week or maybe even next week once the movie fully comes out. But yeah, I'll keep it short. I mean, Wicked for Good is good. It's good. I think for me, the first movie was such a unexpected surprise to me. Not a big musical guy, even though I love Disney movies and stuff. Like from being a kid, all the cartoons and stuff, which are technically musicals, right? So, but outside of that, I have seen musical before, but they're not my thing. I mean, I respect them. I think they're very cool. I think that's why the first one was so great. I mean, the set design, the cinematography, the singing, of course, is top notch. It's arguably the most important part. Uh, the acting, everyone, the choreography. I mean, it's crazy. Like musicals, arguably, are like the pinnacle of production, right? So to see this movie become a movie is pretty cool. That being said, I think people might people might be a little disappointed. I don't know. I'm curious to see. I think part of it might be because the movie is so hyped. It is a bit sadder of a movie. There's a bit more serious tones going on. It's definitely not as lighthearted as the first one, which I think is good. I mean, from a storytelling aspect, there is quite a cliffhanger in the first one, so I think it would make sense that those conflicts are addressed, right? And if you're a fan of Wizard of Oz, also, and you've never seen the play, I think you are going to find some really, really cool moments, some callbacks, and some expanded storytelling on the Wizard of Oz side of things. So that'll be cool. That'll be fun. I think people will really enjoy that. Hopefully, it's not been spoiled. Uh, I know when I saw the play, a lot of it was new to me. You really only knew the story if you'd seen the play. And there are some really cool things. I'll just say that. There are some cool things. I think ultimately, though, my issues with the movie is a little bit of the pacing of it. It does feel like it jumps around a bunch. Just me. I think it is shorter, but something about the way the story is told on camera versus as a play, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. What it is. It didn't hit the high notes. I mean, I remember I was shocked when I saw the first one. Didn't really know what to expect, and I was blown away. Truly, I think the highs and what I felt watching the first movie, I didn't get from this one. The music is still good. One musical number in particular is probably like the highlight of the movie. Again, won't spoil what that is, but yeah, it's not bad. It's just maybe part of it is too like my expectations were just so high going into this that you know I couldn't help but be disappointed. especially if the first one is so ambitious. I think maybe I don't know if it's my issues are with play transitioning to a movie. It's difficult to bridge that gap, or it's that my expectations were just way too high for this movie. I'm not sure. I'm not quite so sure what it is. Yeah, the issues with the movie are not. It's not the acting. It's not the singing. It's not the way it looks, the design. All of that stuff is still very prevalent. It's top notch. It's killer. I mean, I just think maybe it's part of the way it's told. I don't know. I'm not sure. Something I must really praise the movie for as well is the fact that this sequel came out exactly a year later. I really, really appreciate that from like not waiting forever to get the continuation of the story. I really, really hope that becomes more common. And I feel like it's easier on them too, right? I think they shot all of this at once. So, like, when they made part one, they'd already made this for good sequel as well. And that probably helps with the continuity of like the acting, kind of like I said, like the way everything looks and feels. It's very consistent, and it's a lot easier to stay in character when you continually are shooting, especially if it's a sequel. So I hope that becomes more of a thing. I thought that was really, really cool. And it's cool just to see the cultural impact. I mean, again, by no means is it a bad movie. If like Wicked, like the first part one was like honestly like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I'd have to give this like I give For Good like a 7. Yeah, I give Wicked For Good a solid 7. But yeah, I do have a lot more thoughts about the plot and everything, but you know, I'll leave it at that. Especially if people are gonna, go out and see it this weekend. I think you should definitely see it if you're a fan of Wicked. I mean, you kind of have to, um, and you won't be disappointed. But I know that it'll hit the same highs. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if anyone sees it, what they think. But yeah, all right, that's pretty much it. Thanks.